American technology. It's just the American technology we have
No, we
problems with.
don't. We don't have problem.
Because we've been doing good. We've been doing good with Nigerian technology and hosting. And then we get someone from America and the sound is all very poor. But it has improved. It has improved. It has to be said.
You can throw
So,
Java. Me, I would take it because it's you.
days we were expecting. And since these guys have been telling judgment, linking it to the anti-money laundering law. Anti-money laundering law. He successfully concealed it from the government in Lagos because by then he's gotten himself some immunity got some police people to craft a letter that asked a stupid question that had no mention of asked a stupid question that had what crime was actually linked.
One tricks up their sleeves. Guys, we have to fight this fight till the last. All eyes need to be on the judiciary. All eyes need to be on all the justices that are involved in this case. All eyes need to extend to the Supreme Court. Um, there is no way these people are not going to fight back. I want us to believe that they would fight back with every fiber in them. That is the mentality I want us to approach this case and this whole thing with moving forward. No time for jubilation, no time for popping of champagne. When the time comes, nobody will tell you. For now, focus, focus, focus. I beg of you guys, if you come here and say, I'm happy, hey, hooray, it's all ooh, trust me, I'm going to meet you and I'm going to bring you down. Let's talk about how we're going to fight this battle till the last. We're dealing with blood sucking demons. These people do not care about you and I or the common man on the street. So it is a fight to finish battle. The justices have to do what is right. I will tell you guys this. Once the Court of Appeal grants our prayers, trust me, the Supreme Court would have no choice but to listen to the people. The power of the people is greater than the people in power. If you understand that your money is what these people live off of, you would know that you have to hold them accountable for everything that pertains to your life. Right now, our life depends on this. Let's stay focused. Let's be ready to fight to the end. Like Pierre would tell you, it is a marathon, not a sprint. Welcome once again. I wish you all the best. Let's celebrate. Let's have a conversation and let's do it. Wayme, welcome. Let's hear from you and then we get this going.
Good morning, sorry, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Good afternoon, everyone. Please, can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, thank God. Because it's a bit noisy where I'm at, but we can make it work. Please share the space so we can get more listeners and speakers to join the space. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on TikTok. Just use the link tree to follow all our social media platforms. ASAP so that when we are streaming, I know a lot of people are not on Twitter, but we have a good number of them on Facebook, right? So just put the link on your WhatsApp status so that people can go listen from wherever, be it Twitter, be it Facebook. That being said, thank you so much for joining the space. All eyes on the judiciary. It's not over until it's over. We've not heard the verdict, so it's too early to celebrate. I'm not trying to be a spoil sport here, but right now, just pump your gas on celebrations. Mag has said it all. We have to just, keep the pressure. Now more than ever, the pressure needs to increase because let me just even use this opportunity to say this. When we are hearing go to court, go to court, go to court, go to court, go to court. People for the longest time, yeah, Nigerians have never believed in it. Mag, you can still hear me, right?
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead. You're
Nigerians
sounding
have
better.
never ever believed in like courts, all of these things. Now, the beauty of this is we went to court. And the mindset of everyone, of a lot of people was okay, we'll go to court, they'll declare who won the case. But in this journey, we've seen a lot unfold. We've seen revelations that we never thought we would hear of. This is not just even PO. I'm referring to GRV's case, Chijuke Edioga's case, every LP person that is in court, right? Because sometimes, when we put like updates or and say, oh, if you are within that area, go to court. You always see one of those people say, this one cannot win, that one cannot win. I remember when Chijoke Edioga first of all went to, when he said he was going to court, last time to go, and
Me, you're sounding horrible right now.
Oh, we've lost you, Wayne. We've lost you. You have to go back to where you were before. Um, right. I think Wayne's network's having a little bit of glitch. So, good morning, everyone, again.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mag,
that's better.
yeah,
Yeah, we can hear you.
That's better.
is it better now?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
go
can
ahead.
hear you now. Just stay
Okay.
there. Don't
So
move.
this area. So what I was saying that when we first heard of going to courts, let me use Chidoke for example. I remember when a lot of people were saying that there was no point to that case, you know, you should just let it be and everything. But we still went and said, if he has evidence and he believes he won, let him go to court. Fast forward to the court hearing and all of that, we see that the body language has changed. Now we see that Samba, his license certificates, is funny, he has a case of forgery and all of those things. Perhaps if Chijoke Edioga never went to court, we never would have known that this is the type of person that ran for office in regards to Enugu. So you see these court proceedings, it does a lot. It's not just about the winnings alone. It reveals a whole lot, a whole lot. Look at the case of this guy in Lagos. We now found out that, oh, he's a US citizen. And 2 weeks ago, on this same space on Saturday, we had Jimmy, Mag, and the people, this guy, Grandmaster, those who are based in the US, break things down like, oh, this is how the US nationality works and everything. Maybe if GRV had said, oh, he was not going to court, who would have known, right? So I want us to just try to focus on all the revelations, like really see this is a journey. Everything that happens in these journeys, take note of it because it's important. So you know the type of people that are running for office, you know the type of people we have in power. Had it been Pio said, okay, he was not going to go to court, that guy that came yesterday, that Bamidele, We would not have known that he ran for office in Ekiti. We would not have known that he changes his company name every other day. We would not have known those things, right? These things are very, very important. Okay, remember the other guy that ran for Senate in Abia State against Abaribi? The same thing. Edo State too, where Mr. Derrick, he won that election, but he was literally bullied out. If he had not come out to say he was running, we would not have known the stories. So anytime you see these cases, we are discussing these cases, please join, because a lot will be unveiled, a whole lot. Now we are going into Delta State. It's only God that knows the revelations we will see in Delta State. And it's a wonderful experience, because when PO gets his mandate back, we'll look back at this thing and say, oh, during the hearing, we found out that, there was a particular guy that came from INEC. He's a pastor. He couldn't swear the Bible. When you see that man out there, in public or in another position, these people will step up their games, because they've been out in public. They have very funny stories attached to them. This is what this All Eyes on the Judiciary is doing. So when we are saying, oh, all eyes on the judiciary, it's not just because we know we are going to win the court case and the court case is in our favor. We are literally exposing a lot, even down to the judges. Down to the judges, everybody's file is going to be out in the open. You don't get this type of opportunity every day. You really don't. I mean, wasn't it? It was yesterday. Now, Mindset was saying something like, "Oh, he's going to do like a series on the judges." If this did not happen, who would have ever considered? Oh, let's go and look at all the judges in the PEPT. Who are they? What are their names? When were they born? All of those things, right? So really take your time, go through it, read up, analyze things, dissect things. If you're a slow reader, fine. If you don't like to read, build the habit of reading the petitions. If you can do 1 page a day, that is awesome. But it's just a way to be well grounded. Trust me, I don't know a lot about proceedings, but that is why I have people like Paul Meaning, UC, and a few other people that explain these things to me. I'm not a guru at it, but you just want to make you know, an effort to actually learn all these things. But I believe I've rambled enough and the message has been delivered. Over to you, Uncle Akaji. Good afternoon, Uncle Akaji.
Hello, Wayne. Good to see you. Right. Let's take some speakers. Regal, you were the first off the block. After Regal, then it's Ede Anayo, and then John Paul. The rest of you that your hands are not up, I'll have to take you down. Then when you decide you want to speak, you will raise your hand. It's just that love thing at the bottom. Yeah. And then the raised hand is all by itself to the right. Fantastic. Okay. So, yeah, Regal, go for it.
Hey, thank you, Uncle Akaji. Good morning. Magnificent. Me, I see you all. Good morning to the obedient family. I want to agree with what Magnificent said earlier. It's a journey, and yes, we should be focused on the judiciary, and we will do all of that. But I think we should also celebrate the small wins as well, because it's a way of knowing that what we are doing is yielding results. It's not going to make us losing our grip or losing our resolve. So with that said, I want to talk about I would like calling the star witness for APC yesterday, or is the star witness for Labour now, because he sort of came to work for the petitioners with everything he said, and everything that was on public space but was being denied for about 20 or 30 odd years now. It took him less than 24 minutes to put perspective from their side to make it what everybody knows. But Nigeria is a funny country where people know the truth, but because of the individual that is involved, they pretend that it's a lie. I will just make a comparison between a young lady that is purported to have hacked the JAM server and got a result. You can see the way Nigerians went with all their weapons to attack a teenager. Oh, without proof. Everybody was like, oh, she did it. Oh, she did do it. But we have here a 70-odd man that has been in the public space for over 30 years and all these things hanging on his head. And you still have Nigerians that will say, is there proof? Is it true? Even when the US court has come out with documentation to this effect, people will still say, how do you know? Just because of the personality, or just because he's a wealthy, affluent person, they know it's true, but they don't want to accept the truth. So yesterday was very, very crucial to establishing this fact that everybody knows, but some dimwits will want to deny because of the person involved. So I spoke to two of my uncles after yesterday that have always been like, we cannot be sure. When now they are all mute. They are mute. Because it's coming from somebody that was whispering I'm going to keep putting the pressure on the judiciary. And for me, I think I don't want to sound too excited, but I think there is no this in the tribunal. There is a reaction that Nigerians are going to give. If you recall, there was no tangible way you could say there was a reaction. The world will hear the voice of Nigerians. They will hear it. Now, so the world's opinion on what has happened. So I think that's one thing I just.
Say the truth. And it was exactly the same thing as well with the INEC guy, because when he started going through their processes, he had to say it will be transmitted. They snapped by the beavers, and you could see Wale Olanipeku started saying, it's okay, almost like trying to shut him up. That was just good enough for us. If you're just joining us, this is the Million Man Match Crew. So we are here Monday to Friday, and I think we're going to do stuff this weekend for one of the gubernatorial elections that are coming up in Nigeria. If you look above my head, you will see some links. There's a link tree. Let me see. Yes, shared by Wayme. So if you follow that, you'll see all our links, and you can share that with people so that those people in your circle of influence who use YouTube or Facebook can take part in what we're doing, and they can follow the process. Because we notice that a few of our people are disconnected, and that's what these guys like. They thrive in darkness, so they keep everywhere dark. You know, like all these things we are being honest. You hear channels interviewing somebody about jam, just to see if they can switch the if they can switch the narrative somehow. But that's why we're here. We're not letting up. We want the world to know exactly where we are, what's going on. Ede Anayo, good morning or good afternoon even. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good. Good afternoon from Lagos. Yeah.
Yeah, share your thoughts, sir.
Yeah, 1 million much. Thank you for doing this much for obedience. Only God will reward you. Let me just go straight to the issue at stake. We cannot too early in the day for us to go into back. And I read the tweet of a former House of Representative member, Akin Alabi, I think the founder of either Naira Bet or Niger Bet. He said that though he's not even a lawyer, but this case is tweets that he can confidently handle this one and win it. You know, all those propaganda, propaganda is a psychological warfare. The whole, about 50%. Ordinary mere noise, and how you are able to carry out your advocacy. These are some of the things that goes into every matter. And kind enough, the Labour Party and P2B, His Excellency, parades one of the best brains in the legal profession in Nigeria today. In fact, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal has on display are the best brains, some oracles of the legal profession. We won't go into calling names, but we've seen by the action, we've seen what they're able to do. So move on. The elections are over. Let's move on. Let's build on. How do you move on? You cannot build something on nothing and expect it to stand. You don't build your house on chaos and expect it to stand. Just as somebody alluded, for the first time, they declared a president and the whole world was watching the reaction of Nigerians. There was no jubilation. In fact, this is the most contentious election so far. It has even come to the point of gaining some notoriety or controversial positions. So these things came up, and when the matter started, we have seen the trajectory it has gone to. Labour Party, by the grace of God, has brought what I usually say massive, overwhelming evidence or evidences, massive and overwhelming. And when I saw those things with the rigmaroling, the deceptions, the delays, the sharp practices of INEC, all their shenanigans to frustrate the matter, But at the end of the day, whatever the Labour Party and other petitioners presented to the court became so, I know it was so impregnable. I know it was going to be a heckling task for the defense or the respondents to dislodge those things. Where will they start from? If you look at some of the things they have brought before the court, they were only able to bring about 18 documents. Only 18. And most of the documents does not even address the core of the issues at stake. Most of the things that address the periphery. Let me get into a little bit detail before my time goes off. Now, when you come to the issue of Tinubu's Guinean passport, and they went and printed all the pages of the Guinean passport and the pages of his Nigerian passport, and they even submitted visas issued to Tinubu. But that is purely an immigration issue. An immigration issue, I'm sure, is not before the tribunal. And now, talking about the issue of his American citizenship or whatever, or even, the Guinean citizenship, in the form he submitted to INEC form he filled, they wrote there, have you at a point voluntarily sought to become a citizen of another country? And he simply said no. And the first keyword is voluntary. And then why, and you said no. Why in reality you are keeping the passport of another country? Now, when it comes to the issue of drug money laundering, his chief star witness yesterday gave him completely out, destroyed whatever he has to say. He admitted during cross-examination that the forfeiture was on money laundering. On money laundering. Don't mind about the issue of whether it's civil or criminal. That one is an ancillary issue. Money laundering, is it a civil or criminal issue? It is evidently a criminal issue. And if you watch carefully, if you have gone through the cross-examination, Dr. Livius Okwesen asked him that forfeiture was for narcotic trafficking. He said, but it was not civil. The man repeated, the forfeiture was for narcotic trafficking. The emphasis on that narcotic. The narcotic, is it Bombita or Milo? Narcotic is an international banned substance, a hard drug. So that already gives all criminality to the whole matter. And all that, and in fact, all what they presented, it's just very clear that they had nothing to defend. In their camp, they usually have this, all these things, they say, that these lawyers were so brilliant, they never wanted to go into media war, they never wanted to go, that they just brought things that are substantial to dislodge everything that PEPT and our principal to be brought. But I know that they are just trying to put up a face. Whatever they said is as hollow as anything you can think of. The time will not permit me, because there are a whole lot of things came up yesterday. The other day, the Labour Party team wanted to present as an evidence the EU report, which they opposed, and the court granted the objection. Good. Yesterday, the young man, Bami Dele or whatever, when he was standing there, I don't know how young he should be. Please, he should pardon me for calling him young man. Dr. Uzoku asked me a simple question. In your witness statement on oath, you said you're going to rely on both international and domestic observer report. And he said yes. Okay. The senior counsel said, okay, if that is the case, that means that since the EU report is here and the ECOWAS report is here, you have to. That is what. So, when does it happen? You look. If you look at the countenance, the judges, those who were in court, said the judges began to giggle. Kind of, they shifted in their chair. There was a kind of, oh, this man has really gotten us, and even gotten the other person. So then they said and presented it. The court was handicapped. They had to present it because you cannot place a reliance on the document that's not before the court. And that was the first master stroke that Dr. Livi Uzukwe utilized to dislodge, to disarm the man. You said you are a US-based lawyer. Are you licensed to practice in the state of Illinois? I don't know how you call it in America. You said no, that you have federal license. And in presenting your documents, there's also a business card. You didn't bring anything to show that you are licensed to practice in the US. And then they went back and said, on further examination, you said, no, you are licensed to practice in New York. I mean, what a bunch of and bundle of inconsistencies. You didn't bring anything to show that you are duly licensed. It is not yet to Uhuru, my people. Let's maintain focus. Let's not lose the sight of the fact that Nigerian judiciary I have always used one word in Nigeria. I have always used one word in Nigeria. The facts all point irresistibly to what